Well, I am so glad that you guys decided to join us today. If you were here last week, I had two guests on, Eileen Trussell and her lovely daughter, Jessica. Don't misunderstand, they're both lovely, but you know. We were talking about the fact that we had Jessica, for her senior project, came down to the Union Gospel Mission and was trying to coordinate a women's clothes closet drive. And we were talking about the success it had. We were also talking about the fact that there's a lot of things that Jessica could have done to get her senior project out of the way. She could have done the bare minimum, but I can tell you from watching her buzz around the office, working on things, that she put in way more hours than what she needed to put in or what they had asked her to put in. And she did it with a love, a care, and a consideration for the homeless and for the mission that transcends just a project. And truthfully, folks, it's not because I know her mom and I know her, but I am telling you that it was a joy to watch her work as hard as she did on this and to really try to make this successful. Not just a paper that she could do, not just something she could get out of high school with. But so I really want us to understand that as I have them both on the show again today. And as I said to everybody last week, I was greatly encouraged by a young woman who holds the values and the love of Christ in her heart, who seeks to please Him, who in every other way, you know that this is a young woman that could be successful in whatever she wanted to do, wherever she wanted to go. And so she has all those great qualities. I'm not trying to flatter her, but she was an encouragement to me because she loves the Lord that I love. And she serves the Lord that I serve. And she you know, at her age, I was totally not like that. And I regret that. So I'm glad to see that she is done. And it's to no small extent to a mom who is also dedicated to Christ Jesus. Right, Eileen?
And I wasn't like that either at her age.
Yeah, I have stories. I've heard.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. I only go out and have lunch with her husband, David, so I can get the lowdown. And he's willing.
Yeah, but you'll still love me, right?
Exactly. So at any rate, as we get started today, let me just ask a little bit about the success that we were talking about last week of your project. And could you describe again what the project really was?
Well, I put together a women's clothing drive for UGM, or Union Gospel Mission, for the month of March, where I invited various churches and individuals who wanted to donate, pretty much new or gently used women's clothing, and sent them out with barrels to the churches, and at the end of March they were collected and brought to the mission.
Okay, and that all sounds good, and it was, but when we're talking about success, you may have in your mind that, okay, they asked for a few bags of clothes and they got a few bags of clothes, big deal. So, Eileen.
Yes.
How'd that work out?
More than we expected. Matter of fact, KFIA, the Fish, they were all going to put it on broadcasting so that we could announce it publicly, and we chose not to because we just had too many people donating. It was amazing. We even had individuals that weren't necessarily, didn't necessarily bring it to their church, but like one was a massage therapist, had a business out of her home, and she brought it to, her clients, and that was successful. So, individuals also participated, not only churches. So, yeah, it was just abundant.
And we would like to, of course, take the opportunity to thank all the churches that participated.
Everyone.
I think we had a couple of places that weren't churches too, right? Besides the massage therapy.
Yeah,
I mean, there was
Chick-fil-A off Laguna Boulevard in
Elk
Grove.
Cool.
Yes.
They could have thrown in one of those good Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I would have gone for that one.
Our driver was offered chicken, actually.
Did he take it?
No, I think he was in a hurry. Yeah.
Come on. Are you really ever in too big a hurry or too full for a good sandwich?
Right?
I don't know. I can't get behind that. But when she says that we were successful, that is modest. Because Robin Jalari, who is, as you put, the women's clothes closet coordinator, and she is a absolutely wonderful person, and we love her dearly. She and her husband Ron are just special folks and their family. But she came and honestly, I thought there was a problem because she was in a panic because we were getting too many clothes.
And not only clothing, but just purses and shoes and hygiene products. And, you know, if anyone's seen the clothing closet, it's not just a closet. It's like an adorable little boutique store.
Yeah, it's about 1,200 square feet.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so, you know, even from makeup and jewelry as well, that these women get to choose from.
Jessica, when you go into the women's clothes closet, the first day, do you remember, you may not, but do you remember the first time you walked in? It probably wasn't what you expected, huh?
You know, I don't really know what I was really expecting. You know, when you say women's clothing closet, you know, you don't really just picture your closet full of clothes that you hand out to people. But you don't really understand, you know, how big this thing is for the woman. And, you know, you walk in there and it really is the little store for them to pick and choose what they want.
Yeah, I mean, when you walk in, it's not jumbled, right?
No, it's extremely organized.
They're sized. Everything is sized. We have the two sections of the closet, one for a little bit more upscale clothing, and that on the other side for more utilitarian. And we don't discriminate against a person for what they pick. They can pick whatever they want from either room. But sometimes a person, if they're living out on the street and not necessarily going out to get a job, they want, you know, tennis shoes, they want blue jeans, they want a little more rugged material. And if you're going to go out for an interview, you may want a pantsuit outfit, or you may want a dress and all that kind of stuff. And we have both those things, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, Robin has requested that if anyone else is interested in donating, that we have a needs list on our website.
Oh, cool.
And that right now we don't need clothing, but we do have other items that are needed, like baby wipes and diapers are always a need.
Sure. And
some hygiene products and lotions and lip balm, sunscreen, because, you know, summer's right around the corner.
Yeah, and so that would mean hats too, right?
Absolutely, and even undergarments, that is always something that doesn't come in often, you know, bras and underwear, but it is something that women need, and so.
Well, you know, let me take an opportunity here, though, just to solicit it a little bit for men's clothing, because we are not nearly as successful with men's clothing, and those that have listened to the show know why. The reason why is you guys never throw any of your clothing away or donate it. By the time you get undergarments, please. By the time you get rid of an undergarment, it's thinner than cellophane paper. You know, right now there are women out there married to guys for 20 or 30 years and know that I am telling the truth. You know that hanging in your husband's closet is that sweatshirt from his high school that hasn't fit him in 25 years. But heaven only knows, with all the holes in it, he's not giving that baby up. Is that right?
Oh, well, one time I tore my husband's really dirty old work pants in front of him. Big mistake. Yeah, I ran pretty fast.
Yeah, and Jessica, you may not know this yet, but you'll get the clue, because some charming young man will sometimes sweep you off your feet, and you will find out that he has clothing that you can't get him to get rid of. And listen, guys, it's not that I'm unsympathetic. I still mourn the loss of an old sweatshirt cut off at the sleeves, hole in the neck, that my wife threw away, and sometimes I still am a little misty about it. Reality is, though, guys, if it's been 10 years and you still don't fit those pants, you're probably not going to fit those pants. So the Union Gospel Mission could use the pants, use the shoes, use the socks, anything like that. I mean, obviously, we get in all the time the other products that men need, but we always supply razors, we supply shaving cream, the soap and everything. People, the guys can come in and shower twice a day at the mission. So we get a lot of those type of things, but the clothing for men, it's really a hit and miss situation. And like you said, they need some sunscreen. Not all of them are going to wear it. If you have hats, old ball caps, I know a lot of guys have 20 or 30 ball caps. They've never even worn them because they got them at some charity event or something. You can donate those caps too, or full hats or anything like that. We can always, you know what, generally speaking, if it's something like that, we can find a use for it. So now, you know, as we're going down this road, kudos on your success.
Thank you.
Thank the Lord, huh?
And I wanted to point out too that last week's show, I wanted us to all understand that, Jessica, you've done a lot of other things at the mission besides this.
Yeah.
A lot of things people don't know about, haven't heard about, and weren't for a senior project, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Okay. And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you help design one of the brochures before?
No.
No.
She was not working on the
No, but what Robin wants her to do is update the women's clothing closet flyer because she was
good.
so impressed with how she created the clothing drive flyer.
Oh,
So she's going to be working on that.
wow. Well, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So when do you go away to college, by the way?
This fall.
This fall.
Yeah.
What are we going to do without you, youngster?
I don't know.
Come on.
Hold my hand, bring lots of tissues to my office.
Well, you know what? I think that what we're going to do is we're going to utilize you at summer breaks and stuff to work at the mission.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about it, there's a lot of other things going on at the mission. Like I said last week, there's a gentleman named Ron. He was a Marine, got involved with alcohol, was drinking when he was in the Marine Corps, out of the Marine Corps, got himself in a lot of trouble, got several DUIs. His life has totally changed, totally transformed, and for the last 2 or 3 years has been clean and sober. Got his teenage son is back with him. They're as the Bible says, the years the locusts have devoured, they're being restored even now. He's got a license, but he doesn't have a car. So if there's anybody out there, we can only take a car that is running and in reasonable shape because we don't have a lot of money to fix it. But if you have a car like that sitting around in the garage and you'd like to make a true difference in a man's life, this would do it. And he's not the only man that goes through our program that we need to help with cars. So I really appreciate if you got a running automobile that you would consider us. It could be a truck or a car or anything that you have like that. So we really appreciate it if you do that. And by the way, we've had a lot of people that have done that over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those vehicles have been fantastic. Glenn, who lives on the property still with us right now, graduated. He needed a vehicle. Gentleman donated a kind of a bluish turquoise type, not turquoise, but teal truck. It was in great shape, and it's been an absolute blessing. Glenn drives that thing everywhere. So if you got something like that, I'd like you to consider giving it to the Union Gospel Mission. We love getting those things, and we don't turn around and sell them or anything. We give them the same way that we got them, for the love of Christ. So, Eileen, what's happening with the Fish Fest?
Oh, it's going to be a very exciting time. Cooler weather in May versus last year, 108 degrees, and
But how are we involved with it? That's this radio station's thing, isn't it?
yes. And the exciting news is that we are participating to give out free tickets to the Fish Fest.
Ah.
Yes.
Well, what is the Fish Fest, first of all?
Well, it is an opportunity for a bunch of bands to get together. Christian performers such as Francesca Bastelli is going to be performing this year.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, she is amazing. And a lot of other great artists, Lincoln Brewster and a
is he
comedian
from
I
Bayside?
haven't heard of before. But again, it's going to be at Cal Expo this year, May 17th, Saturday. And the Tuesday before, if you still haven't gotten a free Fish Fest ticket, because otherwise they're $10.
Wow.
if you think of us, you can come by to the mission between 4 and 7 p.m. Or no, I'm sorry, 4 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And just bring some kind of non-perishable food. You know, canned food or, you know, something like that, so we can fill our food boxes, and we'll give you, you know, some free Fish Fest tickets.
Tough to say that.
Yeah, I
fast,
know, right?
isn't it? Yeah. Have you ever been to Fish Fest,
Yes.
Jessica? And how did you like it?
I absolutely love it. It's the best time. You know, there's food and games and singing and dancing, and it's a blast. I love it.
We have Danny Vanek from the mission here filming this. As I said last week, I'm not sure why want to film the radio show, but because you know it's like watching paint dry, I think. But Danny was out at the Fish Fest too, I think last year, and I think he's planning to be out there. Eileen, is he going to be with us out
He
there?
is.
Yes.
Yep, and
Yep.
he's single? No.
You know, I got to tell you folks something. You can't see because it's radio, and but we love to give Danny a hard time because Danny, if you go on our website and you look at our website, Danny Vanek is the one that designed that website, who is the webmaster, who loves Jesus Christ. He many times has gone out and spoken when I've been unable to go. He loves the Lord, and he loves. He's one of the first to always volunteer, and so although we love to give him a hard time, he really loves the mission. He loves you guys too. You know, I have probably never met a group of people that are more grateful for what Christ has done for them than the people that work at the mission. And so it's always an encouragement to me. So I hope that you will be able to come out and join us and do all those things. So, Jessica, this project went pretty well.
It did.
All right. Do you have your sights set on anything else that you think we might be able to do out there, or?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is college lasts for like 9 months, right?
No, that's a little longer.
Each year?
What?
How long each year?
Per year.
Oh, per year? Well, I don't know.
I'm trying to hit you up to come back and help us with other projects.
I you know, opportunities are always open. You know.
Good. So tell me something, Jessica. What do you see when you look out and you see the homeless, and you see the opportunities? Do you see this as a feel-good, help somebody, or do you see this as a ministry opportunity?
You know, I've learned that you know, you don't have to be a missionary and go across the world. You know, you can be a missionary anywhere that, you know, the Lord is calling you to, and I feel like a missionary at being Gospel Mission, just being able to not only to you know, be able to see the benefits that the mission is giving these homeless people, but being able to, you know, reach out to them spiritually and fix them, you know, physically and spiritually on the inside and out. So that's a huge thing, is being able to share the love of Christ with them. And, you know, you might be dying, but not when you're saved. So.
Yeah, no, you know, I don't know if everybody can understand that, but it's absolutely true. We were just talking today. How does a missionary, and most missionaries that go out in the field are young, so how do they go into places in the outermost parts of the world where there are still dangers, where you could be bitten by poisonous snakes, where you could be killed by hostile tribes of some people, or maybe there is guerrilla warfare going on in a country, and yet there are Christian missionaries that go into hostile areas, and Jessica really hit on it. The idea is that even when you're dying, if you're saved eternally, you're saved. And so the only way for you to live your life to the fullest is to be prepared to die. Because until you're prepared to die, you're never really prepared to live, are you? And so we see every day on the streets of Sacramento people that pass from death to life spiritually, and unfortunately we often see people who die on the streets, who never came to that saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, who are going to be eternally lost. And so, Jessica, when you do the clothing drive, I hope you will always remember that whether it's Scott in the office working on the bookkeeping, whether it's Eileen, your mom, behind that desk, whether it's you doing the clothes drive, that you have a hand of giving the love of Jesus Christ to the lost. And what you said is so right. You don't have to go to the outermost parts of the world, because the Bible said go to Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the outermost parts of the world. And people forget that right here sometimes we have opportunities. Do we need missionaries out in the field? Absolutely. But do we need missionaries here too? Do we need somebody to put their arm around a hurting person who the world no longer cares about? We do. Have you ever seen that happen in the women's clothes closet? Either of you?
Oh yes, definitely. Robin asked me to help out because she was short some volunteers, and I just love doing that. And there's this girl, she was done with her, I filled her bag with the items that she picked, and she stood and waited, and I said, can I help you? And she's like, well, I'm just waiting to talk to Robin. So when Robin became available, I saw the two of them go to the side, and all she was asking Robin to pray for her, because she's gotten to know Robin a little bit, and it just means so much to these ladies to just have that hand on them and guiding touch and a prayer, and we see tears many times, and showing them the hope of there is a difference that we can help them with.
Yeah, what we have to understand sometimes is the Bible tells us is if you go out and you see a brother in need and you say, hey, be warm and fed, and you do nothing about it, that's exactly what you've done, nothing about it. Mm-hmm. So although the most important part is the spiritual aspect, would you say that's true, Jessica?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is not the only part of it. So what we attempt to do, and the way that we look at it, is we go out and address the physical needs of the people, clothing, food, shelter, those type of things, so that we can address the spiritual needs that is the most important part. Because without that, you do not have life. You have only death, waiting for that final moment when the heartbeat stops to make solidified forever your death. And so, Jessica, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Eileen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Pastor Tim. It's always a pleasure.
And Danny, thank you for filming over there. And we'll be sending autographed pictures of Danny. So,
wow.
As always, Sacramento and the outer lying areas, until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of His hand.
Love you guys.
In case